Hello, all my friends. I thought I'd just come on here to say hello to everybody. I was having an evening where I couldn't sleep all that well, so I thought, well, what the hell? See if any of you guys are out there still on the computer. Rick Halbers, I see, is here, and TCM Drone Tim, how you doing? Yeah, I just can't sleep tonight and don't know why, but I just can't. Well, it is a little bit earlier than usual. I usually go on Roger's channel at 9, but yeah, I fell asleep in my chair and woke up, and here I am. How about you guys? You guys night owls, or I find the older I get, the less I can sleep. So it is what it is. Hey Rick, let me give you a blue. I'll make you blue. Next time you type something, you should be blue, my friend. Um, so, Rick, do you or TCM want to come on the panel? You're more than welcome. Don't want to push anybody, but it makes it a little easier. I don't have to sit here and talk to myself. Tim, hey, how you doing? Yep, this is the Night Owl Club here tonight. Yeah, I find the older I get, I sleep in spurts. I don't do the completely 8 hours or whatever anymore. Besides that, I have to take the old man walk to the bathroom every couple hours or so. I was thinking about figuring out if I can, if that beta, whatever, prostate stuff works. I don't know. Well, yeah, Rick, I think what has happened is before, when I was having trouble figuring it all out, Roger suggested that I switch over to Google Chrome. And when I switched over to Google Chrome, for some reason, this HP all-in-one computer didn't like that, and I was having problems locking up and all these other kinds of things. So the other night, after being frustrated on and off and on and off, I thought about it for a little while. I came back and I um, went back to Edge, and it's been working fine ever since. So I don't know. Like I say, I'm new to this stuff. I can't figure out. So, Tim, TCM, are you feeling better? I know you were under the weather for a while. That was for TCM drones. Tim Rehan, I don't know. I didn't say that you were. Okay, Rick, I understand. That's fine. Yeah, I just thought, well, what the heck? If you can't sleep, I turned the computers on and I says, well, let's come in and see. Because, Roger used to do a late night show like 2 to 4. And he used to get a lot of people from like uh, Australia, Europe, Asia, people that normally were on a different time scale. So that's good, Tim. Glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that for sure. Oh, okay. Yes. Yep. I remember that. Yep. I do. I do. I do. Yeah, it seems like forever ago, but yes, I remember. I think Tim, when you were here, was I still flying the Inspire? Because now I've switched over to the Mavic 2 Zoom, which I really love. That's my go-to drone. I have a mini, but I haven't flown it that much. Of course, right now we're in the middle of getting snow for the next 3 days, so I don't think. Well, plus the ships aren't. The Great Lakes system for shipping is pretty much closed. So, anybody been getting any flying in or doing anything, or just pretty much hunkered down for the duration? Yeah, I had two Inspires, Tim, and I sold them both. Actually, I sold my Inspire 2 before I sold the Inspire and the Inspire Pro version 2. Um, kind of wish I hadn't. And simply because, that Inspire is just, it's almost orgasmic when it transitions and the arms come up, and plus in high winds it just nestled right into it and just goes. And I was flying my Inspire 2 with I had carbon fiber props on it, so there wasn't any flexing of the props going on. Made me nervous though, like if any kids came around when I was taking off or landing, but or a small dog were to run up to it, it would chop his leg off, I'm sure. And I wouldn't, that would not make my day. Oh, sorry to hear that, Rick. Yeah, I originally ordered my Skydio and I canceled the order just because I I'm not as active as maybe I should be. Um, I got back, knees, um, sciatic nerve problems, and I just looked at the Skydio as being more of a action drone. You got to be doing some things. I go down, and if I still fly and do my ships, I park right there, get out of my Tahoe, fly the ship, get back in the Tahoe, and that's pretty much the extent of my flying. If I go somewhere else and fly, I have to be able to pull up and park and then get out. And I always carry a stool with me too, so it it is what it is. I can sit and complain about it and whine, but nobody wants to hear that stuff. Everybody's got their own issues. So everybody's got their own issues and their own situations, and I don't judge anybody. Yeah, yeah, Rick, I understand. Now, did you get all the beacon and the controller when you bought it? You know, there's so many new drones that are coming out, and which is wonderful. I think it's great, but um, oh, great, Rick, you got it all. The you know the but I think the China freeze is going to have an impact on a lot of drones, especially. You know, I don't fly FPV because being an old guy, I watch a couple of FPV flights and I see them doing the flip, 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 flip stuff, and I just about fall out of my chair. So, well, thanks, TCM. Yeah, it's I know a lot of guys are really heavy into the FPV flying. It just that isn't my hot button. I more of a cinematic flyer. But there's several new drones coming out cinematic too, but most of them that are out are coming out. They're not really available yet. They're just kind of trickling out to certain people. Well, Tim, it was great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. You enjoy your family, Tim, and thanks for coming in. And thanks for the like, Tim, too. The problem I had before I came on right now is, I was sitting in my lazy boy. Well, it's not a lazy boy; it's a power chair, and because it'll lift you up if you need to be. But um, this time of night, there isn't a whole lot on the television, and I got cable and everything, but I'm not into the Night of the Walking Dead and all that stuff. So my first live stream was about a week ago, I think. Um, Roger was helping me figure it all out. So I did a couple. I think this is my fourth or fifth live stream, but three or four of them were kind of testing the waters type of thing. I had probably one that I would consider successful. And it was, I think it was last Saturday, I think. or it might have been Sunday, but I think it was last Saturday, or it could have been Friday before. I don't know. I can't remember. You know, it's the old guy thing. Um, I suppose if I went back and looked at my, I could probably tell you that. Let me go over here like this. And I'm going to open another. Well, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to complicate the stream too much. Because I'm really kind of concerned. I just want to make sure that I don't have lockups like I had before. Ah, Rick, that's what you watch. I was actually trying to find a weather channel, but I can get better weather radar on my computer than I can wait to see what the clowns on TV say. You know, it's too bad somebody doesn't do live streaming weather on a continual basis, or morning weather, afternoon weather, evening weather, and nighttime weather. Yeah, there's so many different opportunities, I think, for people to live stream without having to copy off of everybody else. Any live stream that I do is kind of patterned after what Roger does. We talk a little drones, we talk a little life, we talk a little humor. So it's I don't know what everybody else is thinking, whether you what do you guys think? I keep, when I do my switching around, sometimes it goes back to top chat instead of live chat. Ah, paranormal. TCM's into the paranormal. You know, there's so many different questions I have. I don't know if any of you guys have, in your lifetime, have ever actually seen what you would classify as a UFO personally. But I did when I was about 12. I think I was about 12 years old, maybe 13. I was in my backyard, and where I sit, I have a schoolyard behind me, and a grade school up through 8th grade was over here. In fact, that's where I went to school. We're talking about, like the early 60s. And I was in the backyard, and it was summertime, I remember, because it was warm out. And I was in the backyard. We had a picket fence around the backyard. And I looked over, and it was clear skies, no wind. And I looked towards the west-northwest behind my house, and there was a silver ball, like just stationary in the sky. And I watched it for a couple, 3 or 4 minutes, and then there was an Air Force base just south of us, Selfridge Field, just south of between Detroit and Port Huron. And all of a sudden, some F-104s come screaming north out of there, like 4 of them. And they were headed right for the silver ball. And when they got so close to it, it just shot right straight up and disappeared. I mean, it went up like boom. And they circled around, kind of like they were looking for it, circled around, and then they flew towards back towards the Air Force Base. It never was reported in the newspaper or in the news or anything, but that was my close encounter, and I wasn't that close, but interesting. Yeah, top and live chat. I do notice that there are some differences. Like every so often, somebody's chat doesn't show up when you're on top chat, and I don't know why. But so let's see. We're already into Thursday. Yeah. I just came on because I didn't know how many night owls were out there still had their computers fired up. And okay, Rick, so you've seen a lot of things. Okay, so you were in the mountains with the Boy Scouts. Did you ever come across a Wookiee or a Sasquatch or anything that looked like that really you knew for sure was not a bear? Oh, TCM saw a ghost. Yeah, Tim, tell us about that because I had when I was growing up, this house is actually has two quarters to it. But when I was growing up, my parents took the wall out of the living room, and so then you just made a left and you went onto the stairway and you went upstairs, and that's where we had our bedrooms. And they took the kitchen out, made it a study, and then it had the living room upstairs was a bedroom, and the two bedrooms in the back, and a full bathroom upstairs. Um, but I used to be in the back bedroom, and one day I was in there, and all of a sudden the books started flying around my room, and I came flying out of there. I'll never forget it. But I kind of figured out that I was visited by some type of a spirit or an energy, and that they didn't hurt me. So I just got to feel like, oh, okay. Rick, you said yes, you did see something strange too. Rick, I don't think I have your email, or I'd send you a invite onto the panel if you wanted to, but I don't think I have your. Let me go look just for fun. See if I have your email. Nope, I do not have it. Yeah, I think there's a lot of that goes on, Rick. Nobody wants to report anything because you don't want to be made fun of. Um, it's like I had some friends of mine talk about it in the woods. They saw glowing eyes, and it wasn't like down low where a deer's eyes would be. It was up much higher. And they said the same thing. I'm not telling anybody that. I'm not telling anybody that. Okay, Rick, what I'll do is I'm going to copy that. I'm going to put it in my file. New contact. Okay, added you. Okay, Rick, I got you stored in there. Okay, Rick, you have a good evening, my friend. I got you your address. I don't know if you want mine or not, but I can put it in here. Okay, Rick, there it is in case you want it. TCM, I think you already have it already. Yep. Yep, it was a spirit. Some people call them ghosts. What I find is when it's a when it's a spirit, it does the vanishing thing, and it looks very like we would think that an Indian spirit would look like, or if it was like a man that a vintage man or whatever. And a ghost usually is more of a disproportionate type of thing in my mind, but I'm sure that that's not. But that would get you interested, I'm sure, Tim. Take care, Rick. Get some sleep if you can. Well, I guess it's just you and I, Tim, right now. It says there's 5 people watching, but I don't know if that's factual or not. Tim, what does it say on yours, Tim? How many people are watching? Do you know? Can you see it? I'm afraid to refresh my window because what I'm afraid is it'll screw up my Zoom. So, guess what do you think, Tim? Should we keep? Okay, Tim, you have a good evening. And I think what I'm going to do then is, since there's nobody else in the chat, I'm going to say good night to everybody. It was just a thought to come on here and say hi to everybody and remind everybody Canadian Drone Hub's on in the morning at 9 o'clock. Good night, everybody. Have a good evening.